I've often heard others say that their bow, or their rod, or perhaps their shotgun have taken them to some amazing places. That through that conduit they experience a world that few others even know exists. I know it's certainly been that way for me, and on this adventure we explore a side of Florida that rarely gets noticed, but holds more wonder than all the theme parks in the world. This week we're hunting with legendary outdoorsman Pallot. Flip, perhaps, is best known for his groundbreaking television show, The Cay Chronicles. But he's also, like me, a lifelong and dedicated traditional bow hunter. And I can't think of anyone else that I'd rather spend a few days swapping stories with while waiting on a wild hog.
Yes.
The swamps are absolutely teeming with wildlife, from lizards and skinks to snakes, coons, Osceola turkeys, and the diminutive little whitetails that blend in so well with the scorched bowls of the cabbage palms. But the pigs we're after remain to be found.
That just as easily could have been hogs.
Yeah.
Just as easily. This deer right here was only 15 steps away.
Yeah.
Although I grew up in the northwest part of the state, you might find it hard to believe that I never went south of Gainesville, which is about halfway down. I was just too distracted by the western mountains that always seemed to be calling, and I let that blind me to the amazing opportunities that I had right in my own home state.
Far off of what I had. I'd go ahead and rig because we're, if we got something on the lights up here, we need to get it. There you go. Sweet.
Little guy.
Strip him in. Go right it down. There you go.
Okay.
Very cool.
See, I can cast it a little bit.
I was a little bit worried about putting that 30 on. If it won't get the bite, but it got the bite, so got a bite.
There he is. I love it. Oh, damn it. What am I doing wrong? No.
Good cast.
Oh, jumped right off. Oh.
All right.
They sure are pretty, aren't they? Oh yeah. Output 115. So I'm out here on a little channel off the Indian River lagoon, and caught one snook and a couple of little mangrove snapper. It looks like there's something active up here. But we've got a big thunder boomer rolling in, so I'm headed back towards where I put the canoe in. I want to get at least close so I can slip up there if it starts lightening and carrying on. So, been catching snapper off a soft jerk bait.
On this trip, I caught my first tarpon, my first snook. I looked upon the Atlantic Ocean for the first time, and I found myself wondering just what the hell I'd been thinking the whole time that I'd lived here.
Did you get to see him?
Yeah, I got just a little bit of footage, but not much.
But you know, you could tell by how slowly he moved and looked and turned his head. It wasn't a hog. I mean, hogs are, you know. But their eyesight is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, bears can't see shit. That's why I thought I could walk right up to him. I mean, definitely a hog you could walk right up to.
Well, that's the first black bear I've seen in Florida.
Pretty cool, huh? We were down by Lake Okeechobee one day, my friend Dennis and I, and he shot a doe. The doe ran through a swamp up onto a grassy road. So we walked through the swamp. We couldn't follow the blood in the water, but we could see through the swamp. We saw the deer hit the road and turn left and run down the road. So we walked up to the road, and there was blood on the road, and we looked down, way down the road, and we could see the doe's white belly laying in the road. So we start walking. It was long ways, a couple 100 yards, and all of a sudden a bear walks up on the road between us and the doe, and he smells the blood, and he turns, and he's just going to the doe. So we start jogging, and we catch up with the bear. We get fairly close to him, and Dennis yells at him. The bear stops and turns around, stands up and looks at us, turns right around and gets on the blood again. And Dennis says, "Hey, there's no way you're getting my deer." And the bear stops again, and stands up, looks at Dennis, and he goes, "Pop, pop," like this. He turns around and he goes right to the deer. He goes all the way to the deer. We're right behind him. We get there, and Dennis starts yelling at him, and the bear now is eating the deer, or licking the deer, and he's not even paying attention. Dennis scream and yell. So Dennis gets a judo point out, and he shoots the bear, and the bear jumps and spins around, goes right back to licking the deer. Dennis goes, give me your judo point, because I had one, and he had one. I give him my judo point. Now the bear stands up and starts running at us, right straight at us. You know, just one of these runs, you could see him, his fat was just like this, and Dennis goes, God damn. And the bear keeps coming, and Dennis shoots him with the judo point. The judo point hits him right here and skids over the top of his head and leaves a white streak of skin on the top of his head. And the bear goes running off. Well, the whole rest of the season, this all took place right near our camp. We saw that deer for the whole year. I mean, the bear, we saw that bear with the streak on his head for a year before he grew hair back. Raccoon. Geez, you know, what I've discovered in the last several months is that you are a hog jinx. That's just all there is to it. We're going to see whooping cranes, warthogs, everything else.
We spent a few beautiful days immersed in a wild Florida that very few people will ever experience. We saw coons, turkeys, whitetails, reptiles, birds, and even a black bear. But the hogs we came for remained a mystery. But you can bet I'll be back, even if it's just to sit in the swamp for a few days and swap stories with an old friend.